Good. Welcome, everybody. It is Monday, June the 16th, and we are meeting as the Renfrew Public Library Board. Sarah, can you please do roll call?
Of course.
Thanks.
Chair Stevens.
Present.
Donna Clark.
Present.
Haley Heaslip. Heather Dale. Lauren Davidson.
Present.
Who's joining us over Zoom. Jane Donnelly.
Present.
Jason Legree, our Councillor Legree.
Please.
And Chair, we do have quorum.
Thank you very much. Land acknowledgement. As we gather, we would like to acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Honoring the traditional territories of the Indigenous peoples is one of the 94 calls to action of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's report. To do this properly, we encourage everyone to learn more about the lands we call home, as we all have a role to play in reconciliation. Okay, does anyone have a conflict of interest to declare this evening? No, Lauren, no? Okay, none noted. Right. Confirmation of minutes. The recommended action is that the Renfrew Public Library Board approve the regular board meeting minutes of May the 26th, 2025. Can I have someone with that, please? Donna, thank you. And second? Jason. Thank you. So anybody have any questions or comments with regard to any of that last month? No? All right, none noted. So all in favor? Carried. Thanks, Sarah. So there is no business arising from the minutes then. So in our board information package, I don't believe there's any correspondence. Is there, Kelly, Maggie? No? Okay. All right, great. Can we just go ahead with the library statistics then? Maggie, thank you.
Looking at the numbers, the one drop that I noted was in the YA, and now Emily is doing a weed, and we are bringing in new titles, so hopefully that will be up next month and the month after for presentation in September. She is also bringing in more graphic novels for the teen sections because they are actually more popular than a lot of our fiction titles. So hopefully that will boost the stat. Audiobooks, we are looking at, just because a lot of people are accessing more of our e-audiobooks as opposed to our physical CD collection. So we might bring down the budget allocation for the CDs and reallocate that towards the e-resources in the future.
That makes sense.
Yeah, DVDs and video games are well used, as well as museum passes and our backpacks for equipment. Hotspots and Chromebooks are still continuously used. They were used in 24 and 23 as well. It's just that we've moved that section of statistics up to be contained in the adult department list. That's why those numbers aren't there, but
okay.
They're either stable or increasing for their usage.
Thank you for clarifying.
Were there any questions about any of the adult or children's stats? No. Yeah, pretty much everything is being well used. We did for the budget allocations this year when we were reducing. So we did cancel a couple of the e-resources, which will be Niche Academy and LinkedIn Learning, just to adhere to the budget restraints.
I think you mentioned that last time, didn't you? That you were
Yeah.
going to look. Okay.
Yeah, and they're not being used.
They weren't being
Exactly.
used.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember we just
Right.
discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we tried sending out even we've made a business list of emails and tried to send out the LinkedIn Learning videos on the page, but they weren't all used.
Yeah, and that's financially wise anyway.
Yeah. Tech health is ongoing, and there are a lot of people who need assistance. And we actually, there's part of the CEO newsletter list, someone included, they do a form for privacy. Because a lot of our seniors need help with, say, banking or more private matters on the public computers. And for us to help with them, usually we say we cannot input financial information for you because that is private. So there's a form where it's kind of, they would sign off a privacy statement or a liability statement for things like that, just so we could assist them with financial matters in a one-on-one tech appointment. So we're going to look at it, try to adapt it to our policy manual and present that in September or October to be used moving forwards, just so we can offer that extra help for what's needed in the community. And yeah, programs are well attended. So that's good. So if there's no questions, I think that's good for the stats.
Any questions? Okay. Also good. Thanks, Maggie. Okay. Treasurer's report. The recommended action is that the Renfrew Public Library. Did I miss something? What did I miss?
Library activity.
Oh, wow. I did that last time too. Okay, sorry, Maggie. I just jumped right past. I know, and it's so beautifully done. I know, and I love the presentation.
No.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So just our update from Kelly and I, were the New Horizons for Seniors grant is moving forward. The gardening projects are, our first talk is this Saturday coming up, and then we might rearrange some of the plants in the garden to make it more contained in one area, because we are going to introduce some signage. So it'll be nice if we were able to spend the allocated funds on one large sign that lists all our plants with the they're going to be translated into French and Anishinaabe Molan. So that'll be nice.
Would the signs be interchangeable? Like, could you change them as the plants change? Like if
We'll see, because we were looking at one that's more of a plaque, but if there was a way, you know, where it's like the clear plastic on top, and then you could probably remove the top and put a new one in. I know.
Very, like we could go with them for the.
If we could find one for $500, see what we can do. We're just gonna keep looking.
And there's no way to just put like a stake in beside each plant?
We can. We
Okay,
want it to look like a nice.
I'm not being difficult
Fence
on
layer.
purpose. I'm just thinking if your lovely hosta decides it doesn't like that location and doesn't want to grow, is there an option
Yes.
to put a
So
different
I
plant
think
there?
It would be
Well,
hostas, we're not concerned.
I know, I
But
just threw
But it
that
would
out
still
there.
be on the sign, even if it was in a different location.
Alrighty then.
You
That
know, like,
works.
because we can't, like, we only have a certain amount designated.
Yeah, no, I know.
So it would still be in the general area, even if it was on this.
So, okay, so no matter what, you're gonna stick to the plants that you decided on.
Well, we might add some, but generally, once we have them translated into the three
Yeah,
languages.
exactly, that's
We would just.
It's a big
replenish
project.
And it is volunteer run.
Oh, no,
So-
of course. I just thought that there isn't an opportunity to change anything up. If it's
We could
permanent
always
that
add
way.
though, like we could always add, or, you know. Change the sign in a couple of years or something, we can budget for it. It's just, we just want it to look kind of.
Of course, of course. Understood.
And Maggie did, we haven't come to a final conclusion yet, like Maggie found a whole bunch of different options that we're looking at right now, so. We haven't
Fun to
actually
see.
set.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be beautiful
I
as
think it's
well.
gonna be beautiful.
Oh,
Like, I think that's a
definitely.
good area.
Mhm.
We also saw, we found that image of where they painted some, well, it was butterflies that I saw off the walkway for the garden. And we do have that artist that had expressed an interest in doing those. So even if they volunteer, just put some type of imagery up the walkway that could be coded, that would be nice.
Very nice.
Coated.
We knew what you meant.
Okay, good.
So be
Okay.
careful with accessibility.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to be able to
So
walk
it's
on the
a-
butterflies.
Yeah, and not affect the scent. Like with
That's
the-
true.
Oh, the visual,
Mhm.
right.
But
That
there
makes
still may be an area that we could do it in, like I
Yeah.
just, anyways, we can chat. but
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Lots of ideas.
Okay, so that is underway. Connection Center, Kelly and I worked.
We still have
spent
another
the
full day
Yeah,
probably
we
to
spent the
do.
full day moving and organizing and sorting. The OPP have picked up anything with their insignia,
Oh,
so that
good.
is out of there. We do still have some items with the Connection Center insignia, which we're going to try to reuse or reallocate to departments, just try to use it up
Mhm.
or donate if we have to. There are security cameras now in the invigilation room, the exam room, as well as in the 2 communal areas for programming and just for safety reasons that I can currently access from my computer upstairs. So we can
Excellent.
just check if there's anyone in there. And the wiring is still being completed so that I can move my computer down into the connection center. Yeah, it looks great. There's still work to be done, but it's almost there. And we were hoping to host a program in there in July. So the deadline is fast approaching.
And we can probably do a tour with the board in September.
Yeah.
Love
Come
that.
back.
Yes, that'd be wonderful for September.
We'll probably have our meeting there. Oh,
Could we?
Oh, yeah, ask Deputy Wright.
I'm just thinking we could probably borrow the owl.
She's not confirming.
We
right,
can
tonight.
discuss.
Yeah.
She smiled.
Okay, and then the next item was, so I thought there was only 2 computers that were, they were not going to be able to be updated for the new Windows update. But it's actually a longer list of computers, so we'll.
How long?
We don't want to bring that today until we have a full
Okey-dokey.
report.
Yeah.
Okey dokey. Noted.
So that's part of our budget for this year, if we're going to do that, because we have to have that part of our mandate to provide accessible, up-to-date technology, so the patron computers would have to be updated. I had my first Apple intensive June 4th to June 6th, and I did it in the Connection Center laptop, so that was great, and it was good to be focused on that learning experience. And a lot of what was covered, it's relevant, including strategic planning and then the budgeting. Strategic planning is part of the agenda, so we'll go over that update after this. And then the refueling stations are being very well used, and it's like I mentioned, it would be nice if we could incorporate some fresh fruit and
Mhm.
vegetables. Although I do know that they go for the snacks first, so they might be left, but it would be nice if they have access to that instead of the staple pantry items that aren't as healthy.
Mhm.
Children's class visits and programming is going well. Jana's been in promoting TD Summer Reading Club with Grace, and she is doing fantastic. She's a great.
Oh, good. Is that our summer student?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And she did her first park and play as well. So she was out, actually it was here just at Low Square, and she was out with books. It did start to rain, so she had to move to the pavilion, but she did get to talk to a lot of
Good.
children and adults that were in the area.
And word travels. They'll
Yeah.
know that she'll be back.
Yeah,
That's
love her.
wonderful.
And the adult programming is going well. The extension services are booming. Everyone seems to be happy at Cook Creek with Madeline's visits. And she is still having people come for Tech Tuesdays. Like I mentioned, that one-on-one help is very beneficial to seniors in the community, especially. And I did have someone in today just saying that they're really very thankful for the library for having printing and faxing services. They said they wouldn't know what to do if we didn't offer it. So that's good to hear. Coding Club is going well. There is a contest going on currently that we're trying to promote. We've had one of our members, they've won prizes, so we hope that other teens and tweens will sign up for Coding Club, and it will continue over the summer, so it's good. And then there's just the upcoming programs listed. I'm not sure about the Champions for Ottawa Valley Read yet. I don't think it's been posted, but once we know, we can share that with everybody. And then social media is going. Any
Yeah, those numbers are great.
Yeah.
Just a question about the refuel, and is it possible that, especially in summer, that we could just
Yeah.
snack food like cherry tomatoes?
Yeah. No,
Once a
that would
week,
be-
somebody.
If
they're
anyone
used, they're
donates
used,
anything, yeah, we definitely appreciate it. We don't, just because we do partner with the food bank, so we don't necessarily wanna say, please donate, but if anyone did donate, that's what we do have some staff.
Yes.
Definitely
Definitely. It's in some.
Yes,
Mhm.
easy for the good girl.
Even if you buy them.
Yeah.
They're from Ontario.
Yeah.
Any other questions or?
Looking good.
Awesome.
All right. So I'm not going to cut you off. Anything else, right, Maggie? We're good? Good. Okay. Treasurer's report and the financial statement. So the recommend action, I need someone to move that the Renfrew Public Library Board accept the May 2025 financial statement as presented. Can I have someone move that, please? Jane, thank you. And Jason, thank you very much. All right, so I know there are going to be some questions and comments about this time. Anybody?
Just book a lot. Budget.
Go ahead, Jane, yes.
It makes it kind of hard to look at can action.
Mhm.
The
So-
sooner that comes, the.
Yeah, and no department has that in, like, yeah, just because they're short-staffed and the whole movement from the old system to the new system, they're actually putting it in bit by bit right now. So I think he just got water and wastewater done, which took quite a while, and now he's figuring by July. So definitely, I mean, by the time we come back in September, we'll have it all. That being said, we were advised at senior management team meeting last week that the CAO would like draft budgets from us by end of July, which doesn't work for us. So I'm not sure how we're gonna do this unless we might have to call a special meeting in beginning of August. To
Okay,
have
draft
a
budget in what way?
2026 draft off.
Oh, a 2026 one.
In July.
Operating
Alrighty.
capital.
Because
Well,
we
how
just
is
did
that
the
hard?
2025.
That's difficult to do when you don't even have. Yeah, budget to look at.
I'm just passing on, I am
Okay.
just passing on the direction,
Can you pass
and
on that we're not a-
I will pass that on.
Okay.
A little bit difficult.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure how this is all gonna play out, but
But if you need us, you know how to get a hold of us,
Yeah.
and we will
Can
do
I
our
ask a
best.
question?
because they want it passed this year by the end of December.
What?
They want it has to go to council by October.
You have to have public meetings.
And that takes time, I assume, Jason?
Yeah, the directors have to put their budget together. Treasurer, CAO, council. Kind of back and forth there, then it goes to public where the public can come in and then go back to council for kind of final review and any changes we want to make.
Drafts this year before,
Yeah.
3 or 4 drafts, yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's just as hard to do, but a budget when you've only got half a year to work with.
so Kelly,
Not
what,
even, yeah.
I'm sorry, Jane.
Yeah.
It's true.
So my assumption is next year is gonna be another, year like it was this year, so. I'm thinking there's not gonna be much changes over this year's budget unless there's a really good reason why it has to change. The only thing would be, in our capital for next year is probably gonna
Yes.
be the lights, the finishing of the lights, so.
Yes.
I don't think our budget is gonna be overly complicated. Yeah, my other budgets are definitely larger. So I'm not, yeah, so I will keep people updated. That was just, we just got told this last week, so it was kind of that like, we just all found out about it, so I'm just passing it on.
And thank you for that. So when would we be presenting to council then? Or do
Oh,
we have
not
to do that
till,
again?
not till, yeah, but wouldn't be till probably October, I think is when it's going to,
So we would do our presentation as well,
in October.
like we did recently?
What we're trying to eliminate is what's happened this
This
year.
year.
So like, we just passed the 2025 budget like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, which is like,
The half year is gone,
Yeah.
right? So if the directors want to put staff in courses or anything like that, or training like that, time is up probably, right? Back to it, so,
Okay,
It's hard for everything to be in there.
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So it's,
Okay, so we'll just know that going into the fall. Okay, thank you. All right,
It's the insurance.
so yeah, probably that, yeah, I don't even see that, that's just, that goes right through the town, that's our portion, yeah.
So federal government grant, that you'll, or not. Expenses against them, is that why? They're not sure.
Yes, yeah.
See it. And why do we have that way expansion and?
Oh, so because right now we're getting the entire towns coming as one, so Maggie just cut out the pages that had the library budget on it. Once this is all done, each department will actually be able to go in and we'll be able to pull our own numbers whenever we want to, so it's gonna be much better going forward, but
so we're just seeing others that we don't really need.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything to ask or discuss? No? Good, okay, so all in favor of accepting? Yes. Okay, carried. Thanks, Lauren. Ready. Okay. Do we have any committee reports? Don't think so. Don't think so. Okay, just on here. Okay, presentations and reports. We don't have any. Strategic plan monitoring.
For strategic plan, she was going to help with the creation once we had our survey questions, but we
Mhm.
just got our feedback today.
Oh, I see, okay.
So, oh, you mean the board act?
No, I thought she was gonna do
For
like a
Stratford.
report on what we were doing for Stratford.
She might have sent the minutes from the meeting, but I didn't know if those were to be included under strat planning on the agenda.
That's okay. Is there
That's okay.
any,
So just
is there
to-
anything we can update the group on that from our last meeting?
So we, Kelly and I worked together for the survey questions. We submitted them to Allison last week and she got back to us today with edits and Kelly edited and it should be good to go. And I've looked at, we're gonna create it in Google Forms and create the QR code. I just wasn't sure to go out with the water bill, if it's, we're just sending a QR code printed or are we sending a paper copy? Just because of the two, like one, if you answer, do you have an active library card? It sends you to one survey versus if they say no, it sends you to another.
We can make postcards
Okay.
to put in the water bills, just saying that we'd really like your feedback and the QR code, and then we can put on there, should you require a printed copy, please contact.
Okay. So that
Okay.
is what I will be working on before Friday.
Yeah,
Yes, it's. We did have a deadline, right? Yes. And
Um,
Allison's been
that's
really
what-
helpful.
but I think if we just send it to Renfrew Printing, one of the local,
They'll be done.
DSCN, whoever,
Mhm.
and just get it done, let them do it,
Perfect.
because then we can just bring it over to the town hall and they'll put it.
So it'll be distributed that way, which will be efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, fabulous.
Great.
All right.
So that'll be done. So that would be the update, just the survey questions. Madeline did send some focus group questions to me and we were just gonna look over them. And we will have those ready soon and then we'll decide about the focus group meetings because we had decided on board meetings, staff meetings, and then some community events. So. Okay, I think that was it for the update because our next meeting isn't until September.
Correct. Anybody have any questions? That's going really well with Allison leading that. Yeah. I'm amazed how far along we are already. Okay. So moving along, policy review and updates. Recommended action is that the Renfrew Public Library Board accept the revised OP-14, the purchasing, procurement of goods and services policies as presented. Could I have someone move that, please? Thank you, Donna. And second? Jane, thank you very much. All right. Any comments or questions about that policy update? All right.
Okay, there's a little typo.
Yes, we got a couple of
Yeah.
typos, yeah.
Got that one.
So, but my main. Change from $20,000, that's an item or purchasing things without any kind of work to look, but that seems to be what it is.
So, when we reviewed the policy, we aligned it with the town of Renfrew policy, and those were their.
And keep in mind, anything that's 5 to 20, we would have already, like, it would have either been in the budget as a big purchase, or let's say we have to buy, we know we have to buy 5 computers this year, for example. And we have to follow, like, we have to do a request for quotation. So it's not like we're just, so that would still come back saying this was the quote, this is what came in. But yeah, that's what it's the town policy. Where are you? But are you in the?
So I'm going by
Appendix
that
21?
spending authority, so it's 50,000, request for quotation purchase order. Authority level, the library CEO, there's no mention in there of the library board. So I'm just wondering, it seems to me like
So I guess
it's only.
you can put the library board there as well, but then that means like, so anything. Yeah, I mean, we can put in there the library CEO and the library board. It just means that every time we're doing that purchase, then we have to do the list at the board of anything 5,000 plus.
Last that was 10,000. 10,000 seems to be. I don't know how everybody else.
I'm just wondering if it's something we would have already approved in the budget.
Oh, yeah, like we're not,
Beforehand,
yeah.
anyway.
like our budget
So-
is like,
But if we would have, we as a board would have already approved it as a budget item, then is it necessary there? Oh, Jane, like it's open for discussion, of course,
This doesn't.
but it
Yeah,
wouldn't, but as a board, nothing would be purchased anyway in that amount without it going through the budget, which we would have already pre-approved.
but she's saying it doesn't say it. So I mean, you
Yeah.
could, I
So
mean,
we
that's
could add
fine.
it
We can
then.
put in the library CEO and the board, as long as the board knows that any time we spend $5,000, we're coming to the.
Well, I would not say
But
as
if
it
you,
was before.
But now
Yeah.
it's 5 to 20.
20.
isn't it?
Five to
Yeah.
20.
5 to 20.
so then we have to change everything then, because right now, like. That's, so that would mean we are going for an RFQ for anything that's 10 to 50.
So that's why I asked what I asked. Would we not have already approved it when we approved the budget? Because this wouldn't come as a surprise, this purchase, this,
Yes,
Big,
but this
would it?
basically is giving the CEO
yeah.
authority to go ahead and make a $20,000 purchase. At least that's the way I.
No, I agree, but I can't,
But before, even with a
Thank-
$10,000 purchase, like, I don't think it's ever been an issue. Before, like, I don't think we've ever spent $10,000 with that.
No.
But what we can put in there,
without it being in the
you
budget.
can put in the library CEO based on budget. Pre-approval or something, or board pre-approval
Well, I
through the
think
budget process or something. Yeah.
That's,
Easy
like I
done?
said, it was just, I went with the.
The town.
The town, and that's because they had, it was, department head. For there. I
Yeah.
put the words.
So that would be, it would be approved in the budget, and then this would be just another
it-
noted.
It would see the library CEO, based on budget. Pre-approved budget. Something.
That would be good, because then it refers in both places.
Because that's not in.
And it also then states very clearly that it is part of the budget and it was planned. Jason, you're nodding.
And then did you say, for the 20,001 to 50,000, it should be awarded based on recommendation by the library board instead of to the library board? Okay, I don't know if I,
No, no,
If
because
I
we are,
can-
no, because we're recommending to the board, and then they
Okay.
either approve it or they don't.
okay,
But something that big would always have been in the budget anyway.
Well, we
Or
never,
been brought
no,
to the
not unless
board.
we flooded well, unless the
well,
basement flooded
well,
like
there's
a
that.
few years ago.
There is
That wasn't in there.
that, good point, good point.
so then you said you would like it to be 5 to 10?
No,
and
I
then-
would leave it at, if we're gonna put in the only, my only concern is if we change it back to 10, then we're changing all the other ones. And I, going
No,
out
I just
for,
want the, as you said.
Yeah.
that
Yeah, so-
we approve by
Yeah.
us, not just-
then I think
Yeah.
we can leave the numbers, yeah. As long as we
So for
change the
5,
wording. Just leave it from 5 till 20. and
Yeah.
We're just gonna change the wording to include the library.
On the right-hand column, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. So is everybody okay with all of that? Yeah,
Can I make a suggestion? Would you like to do a motion to do an amendment to the original motion then? For that?
Kelly's nodding yes, we do need to do that. Yes, please. Shall we give you a minute?
Please.
All right.
Just gonna copy something over here.
All good, Lauren?
Yes, all good. Thank you, Tracy.
Just one more thing, where it says
Okay.
based on recommendation to the library.
And approval?
Okay.
Is that something?
Maggie's got it. She's on it.
Yeah, sorry.
So
And
to
approve.
whether- and recommendation to and approval by
However,
Which one is that in?
the bottom line of the 50,000.
And same thing.
recommendations and approval.
Approval.
By.
So I would say recommend, yeah, the library board and the town of Renfrew.
Excellent. Then all the checks and balances are in place.
Could I just ask you to repeat that last bit? I was just taking notes on the first part here that you're adding. So for the $50,000 and more.
So it'd be contracts over $20,000 are awarded based on recommendation to and approval by the library board and approval by the.
You don't even need approval again, just,
And approved, yeah. To and approval by.
Can I just see your notes? Sorry. I just want to make sure I capture this part.
And
Recommendation to and approval by
And
the
also-
library board and this. I think that's what Kelly just
and
said.
the one.
Just take that out.
Twenty,
Does that make sense? So based on the recommendation to and approval by the library board and the town of Renfrew, CAO and treasurer.
And then,
That's what you said, right?
and then
and there are two
Jason,
spaces.
Hmm?
Two spots.
and then the one above it, the 20,000 to 50,000 as well should read.
Yeah, this one should be the same.
Just trying to think of the easiest way to write this so it's not super long.
All good. Same wording in both places. Putting them both, yeah,
No, there's three of them.
yeah, she's got them all three here, I think. 1, 2, 3. You have all three?
Yeah,
This one, and this one. Correct?
yeah. So with the addition
Thanks,
of
Jane.
based on the approval, the pre-approval based on
Oh, I did not write that correctly. I apologize. That was pre-approval of a budget item for the 5 districts.
I had written pre-approved
Okay,
based on the pre-approved budget.
okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, with the addition of based on the pre-approved budget to the
There.
I'm going to read this and you can make sure that
Please.
I have it correct.
Thanks.
So that the original motion that the Renfrew Public Library Board accept the revised OP 14 purchasing / procurement of goods and service policies as presented, add with the addition of based on the approved budget to the 5,000 to 20,000 expenditure category authority level, and also to add the approval by the library board to both sections $2,001 to $50,000 and $50,001 more.
Good. Everybody okay? with that? All right, so can we just go to a vote? Or do I need a motion?
So you
again?
have to move and second that, but
All
they
right.
are approving the amendment.
Okay, so can we please move what Sarah just said? Can we do that? Okay, Jane and Donna, thank you, or what Sarah just read, I apologize. All right, and anybody have any further comments or questions or queries? Real good, okay, all in favor
So that was for the amendment.
for the amendment? Yes,
Okay.
okay,
And then just to vote on the full
So
motion
we'll
now
just-
with
okay.
the amendment.
all right, so now that it's been amended, we need to move that the Renfrew Public Library Board accept the revised OP 14 purchasing and procurement of goods and services policy as amended.
We can say that, yeah.
Can we say that?
With the ones that we just had mentioned,
Right,
yeah.
exactly. Okay, so I need to move that again.
Nope, just carry.
Just care?
Just
Okay,
carry.
all in favor, please. Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. Okay, carried. All good. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
All right. So board members advocacy activities report. We don't have one of those tonight. All right, no new business tonight. We do not have a closed session tonight. And I don't believe we do actually have a couple of upcoming items for the next boarding meeting that have just come out of conversation this evening. Just things to note, but I don't believe any of them need to go on record. Like the budget that we're going to be talking about in the fall and just those casual conversations, right? But nothing needs to be noted. All right, so our next meeting is in September. We will not be meeting in July or August unless our CEO calls a special board meeting, to which we will do our very best. So our next meeting of the Renfrew Public Library Board will be held on September the 15th, 2025 at 5 p.m. And we don't need a motion for that, right? Okay, good. So we are adjourned, everyone. Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful July and August. We are adjourned at 5:41.